you can go back then all the way back to March and see a bearish divergence, which led to a correction. We saw this bearish divergence back in August, led to a small correction. And this divergence is the one that I showed you last week. And essentially, what I said last week is that we are potentially seeing the same thing playing out again.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. As always on Mondays, I'm joined by Carl. And yeah, there may be a ghost in the background there. But guys, today, Bitcoin has dropped down and it has not been good. I didn't think we were going to see new lows. Carl's been saying maybe 53. Also, don't forget to go subscribe to Carl's channel down below in the description. Carl, how are you doing today?
I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to go to the moon.
That's it. It is Leather Jacket Monday here at BitBoy Crypto.
Yeah, we're matching, man. It's very cool.
We are, you know. I'm going with the Waffle House Braves champ shirt here, and then the leather jacket on top. You can't really get better than that, except for maybe a completely custom jacket, which I make an announcement. I'm going to make an announcement. I'm going to get one of those jackets. I love that. I think that is super awesome. Carl, what the heck is going on with Bitcoin? Why is this thing continuing to drop? Shouldn't we have got some momentum today?
Yeah, I mean, actually, 1 week ago, we did talk about it. I showed you the bearish divergence.
I hate when you say that stuff and it comes true. I hate it. I know, no, Carl, bear it's not breaking bearish, no, and then it does. And you're right.
I know I don't like giving bearish analysis, but when I see it, I have to talk about it. And yeah, let's just get into the charts and talk about what happened since last week.
Sure, let's do it.
All right, so here we are on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, and on the collaboration we made 1 week ago, I showed you the bearish divergence that we have, well, that formed right here. And in fact, I think what makes more sense is go to the daily time frame here actually, and that's where this divergence is playing out. So here on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, you can go back then all the way back to March and see a bearish divergence, which led to a correction. We saw this bearish divergence back in August, led to a small correction. And this divergence is the one that I showed you last week. And essentially, what I said last week is that we are potentially seeing the same thing playing out again, just a potentially small correction. It could be a big correction, but I'm more into this kind of correction, not the big one we saw back here. But yeah, so that is actually right now playing out exactly as predicted. And the question is obviously how low can we go? And I think last week I talked about this level at 53K, approximately 52, 53K. The reason for that being that we have big previous support there, and a little bit of resistance there, and of course this huge point of previous resistance right there. So it is an obvious point of a previous resistance and support level. That's why I'm keeping a close eye on that. And we are getting closer and closer. Ever since last week, we have seen a correction of approximately like 12-13% ever since like we made out the last video. And I would say the following also, that if we bring out the Fibonacci retracement tool, which is obviously a very interesting tool to take a look at in a correction, then we can see that this level that I just showed you, 53K, lines up exactly, or not exactly, but very close to the 38.2% level, which is down at 53.8. So this means that we have some confluence. I would say this, long story short, a very juicy level for support and target, in my opinion, is down at 53K. And when and if we reach these levels, that's a very nice juicy level to put in a potential long position, in a potential bounce, where we are hoping for this scenario to play out like this, right? So that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin right now. Obviously, if we break this level, then that's the real bearish scenario. Now we're just seeing a short-term correction. But if we break this level, then we could go much lower, maybe down to the golden pocket, down at 43, 44K. But in my honest opinion, I don't see that as the likeliest scenario. I think right now, what I'm expecting is more something like this. That lines up quite nicely with this little bear flag that is forming. And actually yesterday I made a video on my channel telling my audience that we're seeing a bear flag. Looks like we might get a small correction here. Right now we are seeing this play out. Let me just show you the quick little target. And that target from the bear flag should be 54.7 approximately. So I think that's kind of the broader picture of Bitcoin right now that I'm seeing currently. And I will just ask you right now, BitBoy, do you have any questions on that?
Yeah, well, let me tell you something I was thinking as I was looking at the price drop this morning. Is I was looking at the price drop this morning because I mean, yesterday I was feeling pretty bullish. We were at like 59.7. We were almost back at 60. I was like, this is going to be a good week. And then this morning I got up and I checked, I've got a watch list. You know, I've got gold on there. I've got Polkadot. I have, you know, XRP, Cardano, Ethereum, all that stuff. And, you know, one of the charts that I have on my watch list is the CME chart. And as I was looking at the CME chart price from the close on Friday, I was very interested to see that was at 57,200, I believe it is where that was. And, you know, I found it kind of odd that this morning when I was looking at the price, like it dipped right to that level is, you know, it's now open. And we filled that gap very quickly, basically, is the long and the short of it. There could have been a gap there if we had remained up high, if we'd remained around 60,000. So, you know, that's kind of what I'm looking at is that maybe we've got this fill. Like that's a bullish scenario. I mean, we're watching the price right now. It's jumped $500 since we've been, you know, on this chart for a couple minutes. What kind of credence do you give to the CME chart?
Well, I know that, well, from the beginning of my channel, I've been making videos now for like, I guess 3 years or so.
Yeah.
I've been looking at the CME chart because we have seen the CME futures chart play a very important role. In some periods of times, I've seen that support and resistance has been much more respected in the CME chart. We've seen trend lines and moving averages be more respected there, have more significance there than anywhere else. Exactly why, I don't know. Maybe it is because we're excluding weekend data. We're excluding, you know, that data that some people would say is unnecessary data. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know why the CME gaps tend to get filled sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a phenomenon that has been true for a long time. But there are many gaps that never got filled. Or not many, but there are a few gaps that still didn't get filled, and there are gaps that, yeah. But if you want to have a rule, I think it is true that the gaps, they do tend to get filled sooner rather than later, but it's not a guaranteed fact. So, but yeah, but I can't tell you why. I don't think anyone can tell you why.
Yeah.
If you Google it, you will see some different. You will get some theories, but I don't think anyone has like a clear reason.
Yeah. And I mean, that's definitely true. That is something that we do see that, you know, they do get filled. I mean, just looking at the chart, you got pulled up there. I mean, people can see there is a gap down there around, you know, $33,000. And then back before that, there's a gap all the way down at about $24,000 to $27,000. Yeah, those are the two main ones people talk about. I think it's a strong chance we fill both those during the bear market. There is a reason that the bearish ones, you know, get filled a lot more because eventually, you know, you do go through a bear market and the price will go down. Whereas when we're looking at all-time highs, they almost always get filled as well, but it can be like a lot, you know, a lot longer of a time. I mean, you know, when you look, there was a gap at 14,000, I think, for a long time from the July 2019 pump. But it's just really interesting. I mean, that we went right down to that mark and made sure there wasn't a gap. And now, you know, we may be slingshotting up a little bit. So that's kind of the hopium that, you know, I'm trying to look at right now to think maybe we don't go back down. I mean, you've been watching the price has been up $1,500 since we've been talking here.
Yeah, I think, I mean,
but that doesn't mean Carl's not right. That doesn't mean it's not going to go back down to 52 or 53.
Yeah, let's see, guys. I mean, I want the Bitcoin price to go up just as much as anyone else out there. It's just that sometimes we see corrections and we can take advantage of that. And that's what I'm trying to do always, get some cheap Bitcoin, make some short trades, make some long trades. Yeah, I mean, any volatile moment is just an opportunity. And people hate it when I make bearish predictions, but usually they love me as soon as I'm right.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it is in this business for sure. When you're right,
Yeah.
everybody gives you the credit. When you're wrong or make a wrong prediction, everybody says you're irrelevant. You know how it is.
Yeah,
But
that's how it is.
yeah, anything else you're seeing on the chart right now that you want to take a look at? I mean, we looked at that bearish divergence. You know, I would say, you know, the thing about the bearish divergence is the last two times they played out very well. But when you look at the time before that, it did play out, but it played out over a much larger time frame. I mean, we were in a bearish divergent for 4 months before.
This is true. Yeah, just quickly, we can say that yes, this whole area was a massive bearish divergence. So you can actually extend this out like this, and yeah, so that's also a valid point. But right now, I think we already confirmed this divergence. So basically, like these divergences, they never really got confirmed. We never really broke like the key structure, but right now we definitely broke the key structure. Actually, everyone who's a follower on my channel, you guys know that I had one level which was up here at 63.8. Maybe I even talked about it on last week, but I basically said that if we break this level 63.8, that's when we confirm the bearish scenario, in my opinion. That's when I'm gonna flip bearish, and when we break this level, which is 59.3, that's when I think the bearish divergence for sure is confirmed, like technically and structurally. And yeah, both of these things have happened now, so that's what it is. And yeah, before we end this video, I can just show you also that we have support here. So this is a major level to watch as well, in combination with this horizontal support. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, we need support at this point. So, well, Carl, thank you so much for joining us. I definitely appreciate your insight. I think it's important for everybody to be prepared for, you know, the good scenarios, the bad scenarios. That's what we try to do. Start you off Mondays with the right information. So thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget down below, guys, to make sure to follow Carl in the description. His link is down there. Drop comments down below. Let me know where you think Bitcoin's going today. That's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.